The soft smell of salt and coconut oil in my hair. Always just enough to send me down a nostalgic journey through years of weekend getaways to white sand beaches and crystal blue waters that our archipelago is praised for. But first...
Guys, are you ready for another overnight adventure? We are in Cebu and we're going to Siargao tomorrow. So obviously we have to pass by here. So we thought it'd be a good idea to...
Erwan Heussaff, whatever your name is. Today it's Will's World and we will be going around looking at the food. It's Chibog time and we're excited to eat it.
Yuri Buganga is getting really old. They want a fresh new face. This is Haley Dasovich here, and tomorrow is where the fun is really going to start because we're going to Siargao and I'm a first timer there. We're going to get some surfing time in, beach bum time, and eat really good food because of course we're with Erwan, so that's all we do. Woo, let's go!
Welcome to Cebu City, one of the top 5 most populated in the Philippines, probably the second most known to the outside world after Metro Manila, and situated in the Central Visayas region. Now this will be our first overnight episode in the Philippines, and to stay true to the concept, I couldn't go to a place I knew too well. Manila being off the table, I wanted to take you somewhere special, a place I almost want to keep to myself, Siargao. But before getting there, you either have to take a plane to Siargao City, followed by an often bumpy and seasick 3-hour ride on a local outrigger boat, or fly into Cebu, wait a few hours, and catch the 1 or sometimes 2 flights a day to the surfing capital of the Philippines. But we thought we would take the opportunity to show you some places you might want to try out in Cebu City, a great hub of a town for magical destinations, known for its colorful yearly festival Sinulog, celebrating the Santo Niño, handmade guitars, home to Anthony Bourdain's alleged favorite pork dish, and a deep, proud love for the local Visayan dialect and culture. It's considered to be in the province, but that doesn't necessarily have the laid-back, airy feel you would associate with that phrase. It's quickly developing, has close to 1 million people living there, and in some parts, looks like it could be the next Manila. The traffic is real here, so if you're calling port just for a couple of days, stay in the center of town, places next to the IT Park or the Cebu Country Club. However, should you want something a little more figurative of the island you are on, nearby Mactan with all its resorts has some decent beaches. Even though it's emerging quickly, this city has a strong cultural significance for the country. It was the very first Spanish settlement in the Philippines at a time when most of the islands in the archipelago were under various rulers, rajas, chieftains, and datus from various origins around Southeast Asia. This is quickly apparent if you take a quick wander around town, from Magellan's Cross, the Basilica Minore del Santo Niño, Fort San Pedro, and popular trading streets. The ex-Spanish presence is still palpable. The Philippines has been influenced by different colonization eras, occupations, and an openness to the sea on all sides, making it a mix of European, American, and an Asian melting pot. The Spanish period was possibly one of the most defining ones, and it all started in Cebu. The country's history is a dramatically mesmerizing tapestry of struggle and culture, so should you be interested to know more, I would highly recommend picking one of these books up. History of the Filipino People by Teodoro Angoncillo, or The Philippines, A Past Revisited by Renato Constantino. Now that your brains are fed, time to indulge in some lechon. First meal in Cebu, lechon, obviously,
Lechon, yeah.
right? Do you guys particularly like lechon? And if you don't, it's okay. No Cebuanos are gonna kill you.
What?
Put us on the spot here.
I don't usually eat pork, but you know, when in Rome,
Yeah.
do as the Romans do. I think
Yeah.
it's always very important to taste the local food, and I'm excited. It looks good. I know I'm gonna like it as well.
So what they're really actually famous here for is the spicy lechon, which you don't really find anywhere else in the Philippines. Any fiesta in the Philippines will have a pig that's roasting on there, but the spicy one with stuff with the lemongrass and stuff like that is very typical of Cebu.
Anything spicy is good for me.
Yeah,
And
you're
look, you can see I
ridiculous.
I just asked for an extra order of sili, and I just spent the last 10 minutes chopping it up.
Let's start with the spicy stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go all out spicy because,
It does look good when you're really hungry.
and you go with your hands, yeah.
This is breakfast, by the way, for us.
Do we like put vinegar in this?
Try this our own version of salami.
Soup salami.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Salamat.
Love that spice. Woo!
Oh my gosh.
That'll wake you up
Oh,
in the
that's
morning,
good.
baby. Woo!
Oh man, that's really good.
Let's add some of this stuff. Suka laman.
I love that spice.
Suka laman. Di ko alam kung ano ba to, pero special type because it's something in
Wow. This is delicious.
there. It's good. Yeah.
All right, meal number one.
Wow.
Woo!
Not something you want to eat every day. It's definitely not something you want to eat before going to the beach in Siargao.
Yeah.
We're rebels like that.
Those other places that are usually recommended are CNT lechon, zubuchon, boneless lechon, chonas, and ayers. If food is a fixation in the Philippines, it's a religion in Cebu. There has always been a surprising number of great restaurants here, which makes taking the trip south an immediate pleasure. The Abaca Group has been present for a long time and has opened some stellar concepts like Fat Pho, Maya, Becca, the Abaca Resort, Luncheonette, the Abaca Baking Company, or my personal favorite, Tavolata. We decided though this time around to try out the newcomer, the Pig and Palm.
All right, we find ourselves in Pig and Palm. So what you'll find in Cebu, which is really cool, it's like a really up-and-coming cosmopolitan city. So you've got these amazing new restaurants opening up. So right here, it's a concept with local owners, but then where they worked in partnership with Jason Atherton, who's based and who's opened amazing restaurants in Shanghai and Hong Kong. So the food in front of us looks delicious. I'm starving. Like, we ate a little bit of lechon a while ago, but it was definitely not enough. And this right here is my jam. So I like that you can come to the city and have a balance of both casual small plate dining and things like just big chunks of lechon. Get into it, guys.
If you've had your fill of pig and want to try out some other local dishes or small eateries, the following come highly recommended. The Sugbo Mercado Pop-Up, Tuslab Bua, Punko Punko sa Fuente, La Lucha Taqueria, Larshan Barbecue for Simple Eats, and STK Tabay. There's also a large variety of street dim sum places thanks to the long-standing Chinese heritage the city has. For coffee, Yoke or 32 Umber would be my fix of choice. After your share of food, head out for some drinks at La Maison Rose to start things off. And then join the Cebuanos in all-night binges at the many bars and clubs ranging from civilized to loud, concentrated around the city center. We had another early flight the next day and the beach on our minds, so we decided to have a short one and catch up on some much-needed rest.
Welcome to Siargao, the island of your dreams, the way I've always known the Philippines, and the way I feel it should always be. Time just tastes and feels differently here. It almost disappears.
I've always believed that time is the common denominator in all our lives. What would we be without the definition of a day? Since the dawn of man, we have acted accordingly to the rise of the sun and have diligently waited for it to set snugly behind the clouds at night. Time is regular, quantifiable, linear, forward-moving, universal, and eternal. It is as familiar as a shadow, always there around you, never dictating your moves but acting as a constant companion, should you need one to lean on. It is so familiar that you probably wouldn't know how to explain it to someone else. It is innate and believed to be understood. No one has been able to expressly define it entirely. We do know a lot more than before, and what has been agreed upon is that time isn't set at a fixed rate, which means it's not absolute, and that it is actually relative. I'm only attempting to question this concept because, if you're like me, you have experienced moments where you either have too much of it or are scraping by with too little. So what happens when you strip it away and time stands impossibly still? You know what I'm talking about. Those moments when you're running and all you can hear is the beat of your heart, the rushing wind hitting your ears, the slap of your shoes on the pavement, or when you stare unflinching at the person you love, admiring every flaw and freckle. To to that time you held a newborn in your arms, finally understanding the power and responsibility of life. When you gaze upon the most beautiful scenery from a mountaintop, shocked by the eternity of the world. Or when you are in the ocean, limitless, weightless, at the mercy of the elements, finally taking time to feel your connection to the world. Touching the sea bream with your fingertips, invisible currents brushing your legs, the rhythmic undying sound of the waves crashing, and finally understanding what is now. I'm obsessed with these moments, just to feel that at the end of the day I am in control of my own time, to do with it as I please. The past is yours, the present is ours, the future should be a gift. So come, take my hand, and follow me to where time sleeps. To situate you, Siargao is an island that is part of the Siargao del Norte province. Siargao Island is served by the small yet efficient Sarac Airport, which is about 45 minutes by van away from General Luna, the main town where most of the surfing and tourism activity is centered, and about 30 minutes away from Dapa, the main port and municipality where most schools, universities, government offices, and the only bank in the island, so make sure you bring enough cash to get you through your stay. Most visitors will find themselves staying in the southeast of the island, the area between Union Beach and Cloud 9, where most of the resorts and homestays are focused. Either you are in the midst of it with other travelers having restaurants and facilities around you, or you can make the trek by car or motorbike an hour or two away from General Luna and find yourself isolated, surrounded by nature and fronting the sea. In fact, if the beach is what you are after, you are better off staying in the areas in and around Burgos and Alegria. Just know that whatever you do, the surf is never far away. Some of our favorite places to stay include Bravo, Harana, Hermit's, Siargao Inn, Greenhouse, or Kalinao and Dedon Island if you're looking for higher-end options. These places are run by both a mix of locals from Siargao, people from Siargao and Cebu, or even expats that have called the island their home. Everyone pretty much knows each other, so it'll never be difficult to organize tours or experiences. The most popular ones would be to go island hopping and visit places like Daku, Naked Island, or Guyam, go to the Bucas Grande and Sohoton cave tour, explore the mangroves by Del Carmen on a kayak, and of course, whether you're a beginner or advanced, take advantage of the year-long available surf spots. You could also simply rent a motorbike, a necessity in my eyes to get around here, and just create your own tour. I've previously done all of this and I highly recommend it. This time around though, I wanted to do something different and just drive the coast and see what we could find. You'll never really run out of things to do on the island just because there's so much to do. You could either rent one of these like local boats that we call bancas here with the locals and then go into some beautiful, beautiful islands, pristine beaches. You've got some deep sea surf spots as well that are magnificent. But the one thing that usually people don't do is road trip. I feel like it's so immense and it's so gorgeous and it's so big that it's easy to just rent a car or like this beast behind me and just go around the whole island and see what you can find. You'll just land in places like this where there's literally no one, and then you just have a beautiful beach. You've got some rock pools over here that are not as popular as the previous ones. It's low tide currently. What we're gonna do is just drive around till 3 p.m., wait for the high tide, get the surfboards, get going, and have a good time. So, let's take a ride. Perfect way to do your Siargao trip. We rented a massive Jeep and we're just touring the island. All of this moving around, beaching, surfing, and traveling will get you exhausted and hungry. Good thing that the island has some great eating options. There's a good mix of both local and international fare around. Some of the best meals can be made by just buying some fresh fish in the market, going on an island excursion or the beach and asking some help from the locals to put together a quick salad and a ceviche. People have also been known to go spearfishing or hunting for some uni at low tide. Sadly, we were not able to do this, but I definitely will when I come back. Other options include getting up before 5 a.m. to go into town to buy some pan de surf or famous coconut pie, or ordering some spicy sang from Nang Bebe, a delicious spider shell that is cooked with lots of chilies and aromatics, and just enjoying it at home, or trying the various barbecue grills on the main tourism road in General Luna. Harana also has a great variety of Filipino dishes, a delicious kilawin and halo-halo, and a newly opened third wave coffee shop. For international fare, head on to Bravo for some Spanish tapas and smoothies, Shaka for some smoothies and fruit bowls, Miguel's Taqueria for some Mexican grub, Cafe Loca for an after-surf session at Cloud9, Barrel for amazing roast chicken and a garlic rice that'll keep you coming back for more, CFC for some chicken sandwiches, Greenhouse when they have special dinners, and finally Kermit's for the best pizza you will ever have in the Philippines.
All right, let's make some pizza.
Yeah, let's make
do
some
it.
pizza. It's super simple. It's just mixing flour with olive oil, salt, and yeast.
It's like doing a little dance, right?
Yeah.
Kuya, patingin. Kasi gusto ko makita kung paano mabilis.
That's fucking fast.
Oh, so mushy, cushy. It's not as easy as it looks.
All this flour still have to go there, so it's gonna get
Hala!
harder.
All of it?
Yeah.
No way!
Yes.
You see, I do work out every day, but it's all fake, you know? It's just for the show. It's not actually for making pizzas and carrying stuff and using force. So what he's telling me is you have to work the outside gently and smoothly, but you gotta keep this bulge right in the center. So now you put your hands in the middle. Importante talaga, do not break it, but you stretch it. Wow! So according to Parekoy, less is more.
Tomato sauce.
Yeah. I got excited with seeing all the vegetables everywhere.
That's an American pizza, right? Yeah, it's
Everything's so good. I mean, the dough's already so good, so there's no way you can screw this up. You put whatever on it, it's gonna be masarap, diba? Right, Kuya?
Now in the oven.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's falling off when I do. Kuya,
Correct.
Ah, so the trick is you have to just vibrate. You know, I'm a fan of vegetables, so I just put every single vegetable I saw on the table. I call this pizza Battle of the Vegetables. So now we just wait for that to roast, and then after we're gonna make s'mores, right? S'mores?
This dough is just...
This looks amazing. Crusty, fluffy.
Oh, look at this! Oh my gosh!
I will confidently say this, it's the best pizza I've had in the Philippines.
Absolutely.
Last time too.
100%.
This is the best garlic bread I've ever had too, even though it's not garlic bread, it's the best just bread I've ever had. He's dying inside. He's like, did he call my focaccia with garlic bread?
This is where I see the comparison that is made between Siargao and Bali being the most prevalent. To give you a sense of scale, Siargao is about 10 times smaller than Bali, yet 40 times bigger than Boracay. These kinds of locations tend to attract a very forward-thinking and creative crowd, which could partly explain all the different kinds of individuals you often see more than once a day, speeding by on their motorbikes. Everyone seems to be so integrated into the local fabric that is weaving the future of this destination.
I think it's probably important to bring up that you guys might feel like we're featuring mostly places that are run by foreigners. So I thought it'd be really kind of important to talk about it in the sense that before anything happened here in terms of tourism and the Philippines in general, in these small towns, and when I talk about tourism, I talk both about local tourism and foreign tourism. This is a very sleepy town with not many facilities to accommodate people, not many restaurants and things like this. So the first pioneering foreigners, whether they're from Manila, from Cebu, or from outside of the Philippines, that come here and start these different kind of restaurants and bars and resorts and places and hotels, they are actually a part of the culture of the island. I feel like these people are the locals, right? They're really accepted by the people who were actually born and live here still, and they're here to make sure that everything just progresses in a very sustainable way.
Just talk to any person at the lobby of your lodging or any resident you bump into in the street, and they will let you know where to go at night, who to see, and what to do. From night markets selling only locally grown produce and made crafts to house parties at Viento del Mar and late night revelry in the jungle. Nightlife in Siargao is great. There's something for everyone. You can opt for sunset drinks and call it a night to catch the early waves at the breaking dawn. Or you can move with the crowd as they all go from resort bar to bar until they end up literally in the jungle all together.
The Siargao nightlife is absolutely crazy. There's a bunch of like bars to go to, a bunch of places to drink in. And we went to this place called Jungle, and it's crazy. Flashing lights, people having fun, surfers, locals, big mix, cheap beer, good drinks. You should be here right now, right now.
We have always had such a generous culture. The fact that the Philippines' biggest export is people says a lot. Both in a sense that people are looking for better opportunities outside of our borders, but more specifically that these overseas workers are not only doing this for themselves, but for their families. It also signifies how difficult it is to make a sustainable living here. Most of what Filipinos earn abroad is sent back home to be spent locally by the loved ones being supported. This is unique to our culture. Everyone you meet who has visited or worked in the Philippines will tell you that the strength of a nation is the people, their smiles through difficult times, their lust for life. The Filipino doesn't say hello. He asks you if you've eaten, regardless of how much he has left on his plate. He will be willing to share it with you. She will tell you to pray for good things, repent for your sins, to love your grandmother. He will move thousands of kilometers away to live in tight quarters just to feed his son through Skype. She will sacrifice what money she makes to ensure her daughter's education. These are all true stories, and anyone who has lived here would be able to give you more examples of this generosity. Every day is a struggle, and the country has gone from one of the richest countries in mid-20th century Asia to one filled with uncertainty. The nation has been dealt with numerous bad hands, from scams to constant corruption, exploitive capitalism, and forgotten infrastructure. We are a strong people. We fight for what we love, what we believe in, and I can only hope that all of us can come together as a nation, find solutions, clean up our past mistakes, and move forward towards what our country deserves. We just need to make it happen for ourselves. If you plan on visiting the Philippines, and I hope that you do, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. But you will clearly leave with a smile on your face and the comfort of knowing that the good will always outlast the negative. When you find yourself with time at your mercy and when you're surrounded by nature, you delve into a naturally pensive state, in tune with your thoughts and emotions. I believe that's why people are attracted to the energy of these kinds of islands and always feel refreshed after a beach trip. Haley went to a commune for yogis and conscious adventurers to get a glimpse of what a retreat here could feel like.
So we're here with Louise. Louise, can you tell us a little bit about the place we're at?
We are at the Lotus Shores. It's a yoga and surf retreat in Siargao.
So you came here 2 years ago.
No, my first trip was in 2010, so 6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But we only started developing the place 2 years ago.
And as a business owner, are you okay with it being a little bit more busy, each year?
It's
Or how do you
good
feel
and
about
bad. It is getting busier, noisier,
Yeah.
which kind of was like one of the biggest draws of the island, how quiet it was. But there are a lot of people who have moved here who just care
Yeah.
about the place that they're moving into, and are creating businesses in order to stay here and not creating businesses in order to get rich.
Right.
So that, I think it's a good thing.
Connecting with yourself periodically is so important. It serves as a check and balance to monitor how you feel and where you are in your expectations from life. Everyone has a different way of meditating, whether it be yoga, exercise, bike rides, or getting out in the water. I consider myself a water baby, and after a terrifying fear of sharks was surpassed in my early teens, there was nothing more enjoyable to me than being in the sea, no matter how far away from shore I was. I had the same feeling every morning waking up at 4 a.m. to meet with Karding, our friend and surf guru, for the weekend. Fun fact, I first came to Siargao in 1998, close to 20 years ago with my family, at the age of 10. My dad was always on the lookout for new untouched destinations. The island back then was dense with nature and bare, with only one resort to accommodate guests, no airport, and maybe a couple of guest lodges here and there, but not ready for tourism. And I loved every second of it. But you know what the best part is? Obviously a lot has changed. However, the atmosphere has stayed the same, and the development has been done so properly that it doesn't feel like a different place.
This to me is what the Philippines should look like, a lush, green forest/jungle, coconut trees everywhere, an abundance of fruit, an abundance of nature, of birds, of animals. And I feel like, this is our first time doing an overnight in the Philippines, and we've been really reluctant just because we want to make sure we showcase the country for its beauty. And I'm in love with my country. I'm half Filipino, obviously, and I've seen islands in different places, in different beautiful kind of locations destroyed by just unsustainable tourism practices and bad government contracts and just people looking to make a big profit. Siargao is like a dream. It's a heaven of a place. Nature is everywhere. You really feel connected to the earth when you're here, connected to the people and the travelers that are here as well. So I just want to tell everyone, yes, it's a fun party island. You get here to surf, you have a lot of fun, but remember that always, everything you should do, you give back to the earth, you make sure you protect the earth. And at the end of the day, when you leave, all you take back are memories, pictures, videos like we're doing today, and you just leave no trace.
Yeah, okay. I take a look around and I could barely recognize it. All I see now are zip lines and high rises. Possessions so prized they privatized behind eyes. So cables on the sky for Wi-Fi and high prices. So we introduce spices, add some lights for nightlife. How cities with new faces be so bright but so lifeless. Once illuminated by the moon but gone soon. Submerged in new waters like rains of monsoons. Towering the cities of places I once knew. POVs of DOT and the places they run to. PHP to USD is the currencies run through. We don't see the bigger scheme and pollution that come too. You see, I want it known, I want people to see my home. But when regulations neglected and locals you're told to go, or when the lands are disrespected, they forget to follow codes. So who's reaping all the benefits? The money come and go. Oh, welcome to the Philippines. They set, welcome to the Philippines. They set, welcome to the Philippines. They set, welcome to the Philippines. So make way for the hotels, those sell, covering the routes that we know well. Oh well, price for the land, take a wholesale. Don't tell, make another mall, hope it don't fail. Grow sales, cause when they drape the landscape and it's making demands great. Green faces place on these papers dictating they hold weight. To locals they gave bait to get minimum wage rate just for the sake of making spaces so natives are displaced. The culture's so rich, the food is so pure. I wish these tourists really saw it for its natural allure. 7,000 islands, the water's so clear, but they exploited something beautiful. My people right here, they say it's more fun in the Philippines. The beauty that I know doesn't cost a thing. They say it's more fun in the Philippines, but there's always been more to the Philippines. Welcome to the Philippines. And they said, welcome to the Philippines. Welcome to the Philippines.
I always get extremely sad before leaving the island just because I feel like each time I come here, I only get a glimpse of the possibilities. You go north, you go west, you go south, you go east. There's just so much to do. It is always kind of weird to leave and to go back to the city, but at least I know I'm only just a short flight away.
As a nation, we are at the cusp of change. Either we fail or we succeed with only ourselves in our own way. Tumbling through the angry torrent of the water, pulled from all seeming directions by the current, we forget where the air begins and where the water ends. Lost in a weightless motion for a nanosecond that extends a lifetime. Your head peeks through the surface, shattering through breakers of sunlight, giving you breath and life if only just for a moment. Before you realize that the waves never stop coming. Paddle hard, welcome the pain in your shoulders, laugh at the salt water insulting your face, shout through your agony. Release your inner thoughts, let yourself be heard. You make it back to the lineup, proud, exhausted, and that's when the real game begins. Patiently you sit staring out into the blue board, wondering who is going to make the first move. You tease the water, coaxing it to create something special, just for you. You wait, hands open, for a sign. At a distance, the machinery of the sea begins, frightening, all-powerful and exciting. You are in control. This is your board, your body, your mind. Believe in your arms that will make you gain speed and the legs that will secure you through this. The feeling of being engulfed in something bigger, more important than you, is intoxicating. I know it can be overwhelming, so just look forward and rely on what you've learned, your failures. Everything is falling into place. It comes down to you and the wave.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday
Don't forget to subscribe and follow all my social media accounts.
So Overnight was brought to you by our good friends at Cebu Pacific, and here's a quick travel hack to make your travel life easier. You know that person when you're going through security that's always fumbling for things, taking off the belt and the shoes and the jacket and everything? I tell people to always travel hand ready, which means get a backpack or get a bag where you can really reach anything with your hands. That way you don't need to keep things in your pockets. Always travel with pants that don't necessarily need a belt, and travel with shoes that you can just slip in and out of.